Hello everyone, we're Group 1 newbie, and here are our group members. As video games continue to evolve, their influence on cultural narratives and fostering interactions between different societies is becoming more pronounced. Our group will delve into the article, The Cultural Impact of Video Games, a systematic review of the literature. To better understand the article, we have included the abstract of the peer-reviewed article. You can pause to take a look. The article explores the connection between video games and culture, especially aiming to identify if video games directly affect cultural values and representation transmission. This study looks into how technological advancement have facilitated the spread of culture and point out the unique ways in which video games contribute to cultural exchange. It discusses how the development of video games has given rise to new cultural representations. Additionally, the researchers acknowledge the shortcomings of previous studies and call for more detailed research into how video games specifically contribute to the transmission of culture. Here, we list the four articles, and I will refer to each using acronyms in following pages. Let's start with the summary of each article to provide a general overview of their contents. The first article uses text mining to identify key research trends in the effect of digital tools on art and cultural education, focusing on video games and social media. And the second article discusses alternative narratives in video games from feminist and post-colonial perspectives. The third article examines the political and cultural aspect of video games production. And lastly, the fourth one reviews the 62 studies on video games' intercultural impact, suggesting they enhance cultural knowledge and self-awareness. Each selected article by the author focuses on different primary themes. Although they may not directly interact, they offer diverse perspectives on video games and culture, enriching the discourse. Next, we'll look into the authorship of the sources and use citation counts from Google Scholars to assess the source's credibility. The first and third sources have multiple authors, suggesting a wide range of expertise. The second sources, written by a single author, offer unique insights but only been cited 12 times, showing limited impact in the academic field. The four sources co-authored have received 75 citations, indicating strong recognition within the educational field. In terms of timeliness, three of the sources were published within the last 5 years. The four sources review studies from 2001 to 2018, focused on emerging topics. The first and third sources highlight the recent trends, making it more relevant. However, the second sources, published much earlier, may be less timely as it does not capture the evolving dynamics of the video games. Lastly, when evaluating reliance on secondary sources, the fourth article depends on approximately 90% of secondary sources, showing minimal original data, which may result in a lack of innovation, and the first article utilizes only 30% of the secondary sources and incorporates substantial primary data, making it more valuable as a reference for future research.
The following section will examine how the authors align their method with their research questions and rationale. The section is crucial for ensuring the validity and relevance of the findings. The authors formulated 12 research questions in four dimensions: documentation, methodology, video game aspects, and cultural context. The researchers used a systematic literature review approach following the PRISMA 2020 guidelines. As quoted, Prisma 2020 is a structured framework for conducting systematic reviews and has been widely applied in research. It helps authors to identify, select, and generate 12 questions rigorously and comprehensively, ensuring the study's trustworthiness. Then, a detailed data coding process was used to categorize the selected articles, aligning with the researchers' methodological focus and ensuring a nuanced understanding of video games' impact as cultural objects. The authors collected Web of Science and Scopus data. In addition to the three strengths mentioned by the authors, we also examined their universal coverage in the academic field. According to other peer-reviewed articles, as shown in the PowerPoint, these two databases are recognized for their credibility and extensive academic coverage. They allowed the authors to retrieve high-quality studies relevant to their focus on video games and culture and to support their findings confidently. After identifying their data sources, the next critical step was selecting the proper studies. The Prisma flowchart guided the selection process in reducing the initial 273 studies to 45 through systematic inclusion and exclusion criteria. This flowchart ensured that only studies focusing on cultural aspects of video games were considered, which is crucial for ensuring the accuracy and focus of the review. This approach is frequently used in similar peer-reviewed articles, such as the one in the bottom right-hand corner. The authors selected articles contain valuable information for data coding processes and understanding the role of games as cultural objects. First, the keywords used for the sample search were broad enough to cover various topics related to the interdependent relationship between video games and culture. Then, 45 selected sample articles based on criteria from Walls and Scopus using the Prisma 2020 flowchart are considered high-quality studies relevant to the researchers' focus on video games and culture. The samples included an exploration of the role of video games in shaping identity, influencing social interactions, and impacting education, all aligned with the stated objectives. When analyzing the sample data, the researchers use mixed method approaches. Quantitative data offers measurable and objective insights, while qualitative data provides depth by capturing context and underlying meanings. Together, they offer a more comprehensive perspective when examining games' social and cultural impacts. The two images emphasize the main feature of the selected samples, their broad geographical scope, which encompasses various distributions of study fields. By generating graphs, researchers thoroughly analyze how video games function as cultural tools in psychology, sociology, media studies, and other fields. This interdisciplinary approach is crucial for comprehending the impact of video games across different cultural aspects. However, we acknowledge two main limitations. First, most of the studies are conducted in Western settings, which may restrict the thorough analysis of impact of video games on global culture. It would be advantageous to broaden the existing samples by incorporating perspectives from beyond the Western world. Secondly, the sample selected ranges from 2004 and 2022, ensuring comprehensive coverage. Older research may require updating to reflect recent trends in the rapidly developing video game industry. Next, let's focus on how well the authors discussed their findings, addressed the limitations, and outlined directions for future research. After completing the data coding process, the researchers concluded that games directly impact cultural transmissions. However, rather than delving deeper into this theme, the passage abruptly discusses the scale of the game's company and its environmental interactions. This abrupt shift causes a lack of smooth transitions in the logic. We recommend adding a transitional paragraph to guide readers naturally into the new topic, enhancing logical coherence. We also noticed other limitations of this passage. First, the article lacks a dedicated section discussing research limitations, which may affect its rigor. Second, the article clearly fails to define video games at the beginning, without a clear definition of which types of games on what kinds of devices are considered video games. The following research lacks a reference point, making it challenging to reflect the differences in cultural interaction across different games fully. The article should have described the contents of 45 samples. This lack of information prevents readers from understanding the rationale behind the findings. The author could include summaries of some noteworthy samples to strengthen the persuasiveness of reasoning process and make it easier for readers to follow. Future research should focus on emerging dominant discourses in shifting global contexts due to technological advancements, such as exploring the role of the games in specific groups, like VR and AI. These directions align with current developments and provide clear guidance for future research. In conclusion, this peer-reviewed article effectively communicates the role of video games in transmitting culture and provides a well-directed future outlook. We hope to see more valuable articles that further delve into this existing topic while capturing the dynamics of the growing game industry and culture shifts.
Here's our reference list. Please take a look. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to leave any comments.